We're gonna go over the pros and cons of both these methods, and by the end of this video, you're gonna know which one of these is right for you. Let's start with the pros of Amazon FBA private label. For those of you that don't know, private labeling is where you find a product that a manufacturer is making, make your own branded version of that product, and sell it on Amazon. And we are going to be talking about a more advanced way to do private labeling later in this video, but for now, let's start with the pros of Amazon FBA. The first pro to private labeling and selling on Amazon is Amazon handles the tough parts. What I mean by this is Amazon sends out the shipment when someone orders it. They handle all the returns. You can basically live anywhere, work from anywhere, work on your own schedule, and that's very helpful. You're not constantly having to deal with customer support because of Amazon. The next pro is with Amazon, you'll have better margins than you will with dropshipping, which means you make more money for each sale you get. With dropshipping, your margins are usually gonna be 20, 30%. It depends. But with Amazon private labeling, you're gonna get 50, 60, maybe even higher percentages. And the reason is, with private labeling, you're working directly with the manufacturer. You're creating your own product, basically. With drop shipping, you're selling someone else's product. Another big pro for selling on Amazon is you don't need to create a website. Amazon already exists. All you have to do is create a pretty simple product page. So you private label it, you create a product page, and you can start selling pretty soon. With drop shipping, you're gonna need to create an entire website. And related to that is you don't need to drive traffic to your website. With drop shipping, you have to actually get customers to type in your URL or find you on Google. With Amazon, Amazon already has the traffic. You still have to drive traffic to your specific product page, but in my opinion, that's easier to do than to get someone to come to some random website. And the last pro for Amazon FBA is people already trust Amazon. So with dropshipping, even if you get someone to your website, they may not want to hand over their credit card details to some website they've never heard of. People trust Amazon, they know that they can count on them. So that is a huge pro. Your conversion percentage is going to be generally higher through an Amazon page than it is through your own Shopify website. That being said, there are a lot of pros to dropshipping. The first pro is it's easy to get started. With dropshipping, all you have to do is find a manufacturer, create a website using Shopify or any platform you want, and you can pretty much start selling in the next few days. With private labeling, you need to buy your first production run. You need to get it sent over, usually from China. This all takes time, which leads into our next pro of dropshipping, and that is that it's usually cheaper to get started with dropshipping. And the reason for this is with traditional private labeling models, you have to take some money, buy a bunch of product, get it over from China, and then start selling it. Now, I will talk about a method, my personal favorite method to private label, where you don't need to spend a lot of money up front. You can actually get your first production run paid for, and it's my favorite way to make money online personally. I'll talk about that later in the video. But typically speaking, if you're gonna be private labeling, you need to spend your own money for the first production run. Now with drop shipping, once again, you don't need to spend as much money up front. Another pro for dropshipping is it's easy to test a lot of different products and see which one gives you the results. With private labeling, you don't want to test a lot because if your test fails, you're going to lose a lot of money. With dropshipping, it's a very low cost to test a lot of different products. And the last pro for dropshipping, just like Amazon handles the tough parts when you're doing Amazon FBA private label, with dropshipping, the dropshipper handles the tough parts, which in my opinion is making the product and actually sending out the final product. Now with dropshipping, you will have to deal with some of the customer service, but at least you won't have to actually be there to send the physical product. So let's go back to Amazon and talk about some of the cons. And the biggest first con with Amazon FBA private labeling is it takes a lot of money to start. Now, that being said, I do have a trick where you can get your first production run completely paid for, but for typical private labeling models, it costs a decent amount of money to get started. The next con for selling on Amazon is Amazon can ban you at any point. If they don't like something you're doing, if they even think that you broke a rule, they can kick you off and then you're kind of screwed. I do have a method of selling on Amazon that can hedge your bet, so this isn't as big of a concern, but to be honest, it's always a concern if you're playing in someone else's sandbox that they might kick you out. And with dropshipping, there are some big cons as well. And one of the first ones is usually, depending on what dropshipping model you do, usually the shipping times are very long. Because a lot of times people selling drop shipping are shipping from China, or even if they're shipping within the US, it tends to be a longer ship time, and people don't like that. And this means you'll get a lot of complaints, you'll get a lot of people wanting to get their money back, and there's just a lot of issues. I mean, think about when you buy something online, if it's gonna take a month for you to get it, you're gonna be a little upset. The next con with dropshipping is you're just a middleman. You're not adding a ton of value to the world, which in general means that it's less likely that you're gonna make a ton of money from the world. Another con about dropshipping is, even though it's easy to get started, the flip side of that means that there's gonna be a lot of competition. Because if you find a product, if you find a niche that works really well, there's not a lot stopping other people from copying you, copying that niche, and also making a lot of money. So because it's easy for you to get started, that means it's easy for other people to get started as well. There's not a big moat around your castle, and there's not a lot defending you and your business from other competitors. The last con, and maybe the biggest one in my opinion, is when is the last time you bought from a dropshipping store? I haven't purchased something from a dropshipping store in, I don't know, about 7 years. When I buy something, I usually buy on Amazon. So look at your own purchasing behavior. In my opinion, the dropshipping store model is dying. You're either buying something directly from the company because usually it's a little bit cheaper, or you're buying stuff from Amazon. At least that's the case with me. If it's different for you, then keep that in mind as well. Okay, so which one should you do and when? But keep in mind, private labeling is a bit of a spectrum. On the low end of the spectrum is private labeling junk products, finding things that sell, slapping your brand on it, and just selling boring old private label products. This can work and you can make money doing it, but it's not the best way. Then in the middle is branding a product, really niching it down and creating a special brand around your product. And finally, you have what I recommend, which is creating a unique product, or what I like to call a passion product. This is where you create a product somewhat from scratch, something unique. It's not just slapping your brand on a product that already exists. It's creating something that does not exist yet. And it's not as hard as you think. This is what I do on Amazon. It's also what I taught my girlfriend to do on Amazon. And the beauty of this method is you don't need almost any money to get started. And that's because you can run a Kickstarter and you can raise money for your first production run. So which of these is the winner? Well, I think it depends on what you want to do. If you just want to dip your toe in the water, you just want to see if making money online is right for you, then drop shipping might make sense because it's easy to get started, it costs a lot less. But if you want to make real money, create a real business, then Amazon private labeling is by far the best method to making a lot of money. And I recommend not just doing the typical boring private label thing. Create a brand around your product, or even better, create your own passion product. It's easier to make money when you really believe in the product. And this is a lesson I had to learn the hard way. The first 4 or 5 years of selling online for me, I was selling dance clothing, something I wasn't that passionate about. It wasn't until I started Performance Nut Butter, a product that I actually believe in, that I think can really help people, that I started making real money. I hit my goal of $300 a day passive income. And if you want to learn more about creating your own product, I have this video right here which walks you step by step on how you can create your own product that you're actually going to be passionate about. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.